I'm so excited, cannot stop smiling about this amazing author that I have on my show today. And her name is Lakina Fulks.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Well, awesome, because we're excited to have you. So we're going to jump right into your book because, look, I have so many questions that I want to talk to you about after reading this book. I mean, this book was so powerful. Audience, the name of her book is Why? Why? A young girl's search for the truth. I mean, that alone, that title alone, why? Because that's so many questions. We have so many questions in life that we ask, and to have a title of a book that says why. So the book was very powerful as I read it. Your book mentions a lot about pain. It talks a lot about the fear. It talks a lot about the abuse. So your book is something that actually we've all of us, at some point in time in our life, have gone through that fear, that pain, that abuse. Some more than others. Some may not have gone through any of those things, but if you keep living, some of those things will hit home. So what I want
Yes.
to ask you is, you started with those things at such an early age in your life. Can you tell the audience a little bit about how did this pain, fear, abuse start so early? And tell us the age that it started.
Yes. Great question. So, yes, the book Why, it is my story of pain to triumph, as well. And so it started off at the age of 8 years old. So it started off very young, being molested, and then that fear and all of the things that come along with that type of abuse, and then not telling anyone and growing up hiding it inside. So, yes.
Wow. Okay, so you said
Mhm.
that you were abused at such an early age. If you don't mind telling the audience, how were you abused?
Well, I was molested, sexually molested,
Mm-hmm.
and it went on for, I think, till I was about 10 years old. And I hid it. It was me and my sister as well. We're 10 months apart, and we just hid it. We didn't say anything, but I took the bulk of it because I was the oldest, and it led me into a life of keeping things silent and keeping things closed. So as I grew up and other things began to happen, I kept silent about it and I didn't tell.
Wow. So you don't have to really say if you don't want to, but when you say
Mm.
that it was you and your siblings, that leads me to think that this was a family member that was doing this to you children. And, this
Yeah.
happens more than people think, audience, out here in this world where family members abuse fathers, uncles, brothers. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it's the men that get abused
Yeah.
in the families as well, and it's a stigmatism where we have to, we want to keep it quiet, or the first thing we'll think to ourselves, Lakina, is, was it my fault? And so
Yeah.
we carry that guilt, we carry that shame, and that's the part where God comes in,
Yes.
because we need healing from those things, because we will carry those from our childhood into our adult life. And the reason why I'm saying that, because as I read your book, you talk about even today, your age, and all these amazing things you're doing that we're going to get into, even today, some of those memories tend to surface. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So every now and then, it may be a flashback of things, and not just the molestation, being married at a young age, because at when you're sexually abused, some young girls is different for them, some is closed off. For me, I became a little bit promiscuous, and so
Mhm.
I became sexually active at a very young age because I had an urge and I needed it to be felt. So at a young age, that was what I was doing. And so I got pregnant at 16 years old and married at 17 years old. And so at that time, my abuse turned differently because then I began to be physically abused.
Wow.
So the abuse changed.
Wow, wow, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, those memories pop up in our lives because, see, the enemy is still really, really busy. He wants us to continue to remember those things that hurt us, you know, those things that causes us fear. He wants to bring that back so that he can steal our joy. Because, you know, once you are delivered from that, doesn't mean that the enemy is going to stop putting it in your mind or bringing you back situations or things that remind you of the situation that you went through. Because as long as you're smiling and you happy, he's like, oh no, you smiling too much. All that I done had you go through, your molestation. Oh no, I want you to feel that pain all over again.
Yeah.
But the good thing about that is that sometimes, this is just my opinion, audience, that sometimes when that enemy tries to bring us that hurt and that pain and those memories back again, I look at it like this. God could be bringing us back those memories to remind us that, hey, sister, daughter, you're not there anymore. And so you feel that joy all over again. Yes, God, okay, that memory means I'm not there anymore. Thank you, God, for delivering me. So tell me, how do you feel, you know, when the enemy brings these things to you? And then here come God showing up like our hero to tell us we don't have to go through those things anymore. He encourages us.
Yeah. So when those things come up, I just say, you know, look, I'm an overcomer and I am free from that. I am delivered. I am healed from that. So anytime the enemy begins to try to come with his thoughts, you know, putting his thoughts, oh, remember this, remember that, I immediately just remind him of his future. And then I sometimes get crazy with it, you know, because the enemy, he'll come talking, and I say he'll come talking with his stinking breath, and I'll just be like, look, don't talk to me, back up. I'm only hearing what my Father is saying concerning me. Yes. And I'll say one time, you know, the enemy was just like, oh yeah, this and that. And I said, look, you with your dumb self, you got kicked out of heaven. Who gets kicked out of heaven? Who gets kicked out? You did with your dumb self. So don't come talking to me, trying to remind me of nothing. I am healed, delivered, and I'm moving forward, and I'm going to help other women and young girls be free as well. Yes. And the voice will stop. It'll silence.
Yes.
We have to silence his voice.
Yep. Because we have to talk to him the same way we talk to God. We have to tell him, not today. Oh, yes, not today. We can't allow him to keep talking in our ear, you know? Yeah. So yeah, we got to talk back. We have to talk, bring it. And I love how you talk about his stinky breath. You know, I love that.
I say all kind of crazy stuff to him where it just stopped. Look, if he come talking junk to me, oh no, you better not come.
Okay, so now, Lakina, listen, you, speaking of, you know, how you help the youth, you also have a business. So you're going to have to briefly tell us a little bit about this business. See, where the enemy meant for harm, God intended for good. So you took your trauma and made it into triumph. And tell us about this business.
Yeah, so it's called The Treasure Within, and it's a girls mentorship program. And so the purpose of that is to inspire, uplift young girls, increasing their self-esteem, provoking them to think, and knowing that their words can change their world, and just really giving them tools to be successful leaders, and letting them know, like, just because something happened to you or your environment, you do not have to be a statistic. You are not a product of your environment. You can change your life. And it starts with within. And sometimes young girls don't know really what they have inside of them, because I didn't know. And once I found out, like, wow, I'm like, every woman needs to know this. They need to know that they're a queen, that they're beautiful. Yes. But when you have people that's in your life and they are constantly telling you you're stupid, you're dumb, you're ugly, you're nothing, you will believe that. But you need to have a voice in your life to tell you the opposite. And so my mission is to be that voice into other young girls' lives, for them to know, like, hey, you're a queen, you're beautiful, you can be somebody. Just because this has happened to you, use that and help somebody else.
Yeah. So, oh my God, how amazing that is. So,
Yeah.
what I would like for you to do right now is look directly into that camera. I want
Mhm.
you to give some of these women out here, and even some of these men, because there are probably men saying, oh my goodness, all
Yeah.
that Lakina went through. God, I can't even imagine that being my daughter. So you're
Mm.
probably talking to the men as well, but look
Yeah.
into that camera and give us some words of encouragement.
Yes, yes. So, to all the kings and the queens out there, knowing that you are valuable, you are enough, you are worth something. You have treasures inside of you. There's hidden treasures and things inside of us. And the thing is that you just haven't tapped into it yet. Everything we need is inside of us. All we have to do is believe in God and believe in ourselves. There's so much power in believing. So no matter what anybody says about you, it's what you think about yourself. So you have to tell yourself that I am enough. I can do this. I am powerful. We are powerful. We are so amazing. And once we tap into who we really are, you'll see that you're unstoppable. You can do anything that your mind tells you to do. You just have to believe.
Yes. So we're going to leave that right there with this powerful woman, Lakina Fulks.